The 2008 season was over, and the TWF decided to shut down for a whole year. Kind of give all the wrestlers time to heal. We just kind of took a break. We got a new ring. A lot of people didn't think we was coming back. Everybody was like, well, if we take a year off, we won't show up. And that didn't happen. 2010 opened the doors, which I believe the last 2 seasons of our careers was probably the best. Because everybody
I think I would agree, actually.
I mean, I think Enforcer's the one that said it. At the beginning, TWF was a lot of hardcore. But by the time you got to 2008, 10, 11, it was more wrestling. That's what excites me more.
We definitely matured as talent.
Yeah.
I think back then it was more about trying to be not necessarily hardcore, but maybe more of like shocking, maybe to see what we could do.
Yeah.
To each other. With all those weapons and stuff, and maybe to see how innovative we could be. With the chair and a ladder and stuff. And by the time we had matured as wrestlers and adults, like you said, the last 2 seasons were better for that. It was kind of like, really putting our bodies through such hell with all those weapons years back really kind of made us smarter wrestlers.
Yeah.
But it also made, just TWF better in general. And looking at it now, I don't know if TWF would have made it as long if we would have kept that pace.
Yeah.
And if we would, I don't think that the quality of matches would have been the same, especially that final season or 2.
Yep, exactly right. I have to agree with you 100%. But the 2010 season started, and you captured some gold. The United States Championship. I'm going to go on record and say that run with you as United States Champion was the best. Honest to God, if I had to say the greatest United States Champion of all time, it would be you. And I'm not saying that just because, hey, he's here. No, I am serious. People get mad because I kiss Jon Morris's butt all the time, but hey, I'm just saying, you're the man. But anyway, you had the title. You beat the likes of Sabbath. You fought Saul, which he was a newcomer. I think he started in 2008, 2007. I think it was 80 though. But anyway, to me, one of the best things that happened in 2010, the 4-way match, Summer Death Games. Jon Morris, Sabbath, Saul, and Enforcer. The TWF never saw nothing like that. It was a fatal 4-way, wasn't it? A 4-way elimination, whatever you want to call it. And just, describe one being in that feud with 3 other guys like that.
Well, it was special because not only I'd been there a little bit with Enforcer, back in the old TWF days, but around that time, there was up until that point there wasn't that much familiarity with Saul, Sabbath, you know what I'm saying, and brain fart. So Saul, yeah. I was like 4, yeah. But there wasn't as much familiarity with Saul and Sabbath, and so that was kind of exciting too because I took, or not just me, but especially I want to put this not in a disrespectful way, but I think like me and Enforcer. 2 guys that had been around the block a few times, I think it was almost kind of up to us, not necessarily to carry those guys, but to push them in a way that they hadn't been pushed before. And, I think that's kind of a veteran's job in a way, is to not necessarily just put over the new talent, but to kind of push them enough to where they not only pay their dues and they learn, the respect of their peers, but just to become, better wrestlers in general. And it's for that time, considering that, it was me and Enforcer, like I said, and, these other 2 guys, look at them. I really liked those guys as wrestlers too. Saul, some of his hardcore matches definitely reminded me of the TWF of days of old, and and that's one thing that I really I enjoyed watching that. You know what I'm saying? Sabbath, you know what I'm saying? This is powerhouse. Sometimes whenever that spirit was coming at me, it never it never felt good. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, looked like a big black wrecking ball, just coming right at you. I actually skipped one of my questions, which I need to go back. I apologize to the fans. I'm unprofessional. We had a super show, and it was a rewind, and it was, I believe, the main event was Jon Morris, United States champion, and it was Psycho Jake, the world heavyweight champion, in a ladder match. I really, really dug this match. Like you said earlier, you really tell that we matured. I think, and all of us did, and you can watch the first match that you guys had in 2001 and then go to 2010 and sit there and watch that match, and it's completely different, but you can tell that, I guess, the excitement was still there just as much as it was in 2001, and the determination of, he's going to be better than you, you're going to be better than him. I remember the drop toe hold on to the ladder for Psycho. You did the no, but there was a move that Psycho did. He laid you on the ground, grabbed you, what's that called, the Boston Crab, and tilt the ladder upside down and put it on your back. I mean, it was just the way that you guys, reinvented that ladder match. And I'm not sure that, I don't know if that was our last ladder match we ever had. I can't remember. Shocking enough. But he grabbed you for the institution. Morris being cocky like he always is. He grabbed you. I mean, was you guys trying to break the ladder again? Because that thing goes in the Hall of Fame itself. I mean, that thing took a beating.
It sure did. I don't know if it's necessarily trying to break it again, but I think it was in some ways kind of a nod to the old match. But I think the idea going to this one was we want to remind you guys of the nostalgia of where we started and kind of bringing up some old ghosts, I guess, with our past between Psycho and Morris.
Yeah. But
I think at the same time we wanted it to be different. We didn't want it to be the exact same thing. You know what I'm saying? We didn't want it to be Hangover 1 and 2. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We wanted it to be something completely different from the first one, and I think, like you said, I think we definitely did that. And regardless of the winner, I think it was still a great match.
Oh yeah. Oh, who was that the last time I had? I think it was Dan the Man. Did you watch that podcast yet?
I watched. Yeah, I think I'm gonna watch some. Do you have it's in multiple parts?
Yes, it's in multiple parts.
Yeah.
Watch the second part, because all he kept talking, every time he talks about Morris, cocky. It's so funny. But anyway, we'll go now to 2011, the last season, and I mean, you was United States champion 2010, 2011. They hand you they didn't hand it to you, but you get what I'm saying. They bestowed on you the TWF Heavyweight Championship. Did you ever think? Because, I mean, you left in 2003 was your last year. You were gone from 3, so you were gone 2004, 5, 6, 7, and then you made your return in 8. Did you ever feel like you would ever reach that pinnacle again to become the TWF Heavyweight Champion?
Oh, a part of me wanted to say that I would, but another part of me, as great as it was, I think I just wanted to go back and prove that I could still do it, and prove that these new guys and these legends that I still deserved my spot. I didn't want it to feel like that that my career was a fluke or that I was a flash in the pan.
Yeah.
So it really didn't have anything to do with titles returning. It really just. I just wanted to come back and not only wrestle, but to just prove myself. And if I won some titles, that was great. And it made me, not only the more confident in myself, but it also just reminded myself that I deserved to be here. And I think it also reminded some of the TWF guys that Morris, was here to stay until the very end.
I think in 2011, everybody got a piece of Morris's foot in their mouth.
Definitely.
I mean, that's just being honest. But you won the title, and they put you with another rookie, Dan the Man Johnson. Dan the Man, now this is my opinion on him, which I think everybody would agree, probably you. Fastest rising star, TWF. Came in 2010, 2011, already main eventing. He won the TWF Heavyweight Championship the first show of 2011. Because you and Deadman, it was you, Deadman, Irvin, and Dan the Man. You and Deadman just can't get over it. The rival never ended. You guys fight your way off. Dan the Man wins the title. Then you end up beating Dan the Man for the championship. What was your feeling on your rival with Dan the Man Johnson?
Well,
first off, sorry, did you think he deserved it?
And 100% yes. And I'll tell you why. I remember 2000, 2001, a fresh face up-and-comer named Jon Morris said, you know what, I'm cocky. I know what I want to achieve. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to go in there and I'm going to do it. New guys, legends, it doesn't matter. I'm going to go through every person I have to be the man. And he earned the nickname, the Man.
Yeah.
And this is the reason why I loved my rivalry with Dan the Man Johnson, because every match, every time we just faced off, every time we just spoke to each other, all I seen was a reflection of me when I first started. And I thought, it's like, this guy is definitely not playing. He's here to do what I did when I first started, and I couldn't fault him for it. I was like, well, what can I say? For me to have had strong words in a way that that didn't favor him for that, I don't know, it would have been hypocritical on my part. I think Dan the Man definitely deserved his spot, and if he had to go through me to earn his spot, then so be it. Like I said, that's kind of the circle of life in this business. You know, we start out and then we go for it, and then once we make it, you know what I'm saying, then maybe when it comes back around, somebody comes to take our spot. That's just how it works.
Let's see here. Winning the championship. You go on, you continue to, like I said, you beat Dan the Man for it, then you beat him again. Well, then now, the phenomenal one, Johnny Reyes, gets in the mix. Me personally, I didn't know how that was going to work. Another triple threat, because like I said, you just had a big rival with 3 other guys. Now, you got 2 guys coming after you, but you guys made it work. I know you and you've always been kind of a fan of Johnny Reyes anyway. But did you like that he got thrown in the mix, or?
Well, like I said, personally, maybe, a part of me wants to say that, what I'm saying, is great as matches him. I think he was a guy that I liked, one-on-one confrontations with. It's really not nothing against that whole thing. I just think that, somebody like Reyes deserves... he deserves as much spotlight as his counterpart. And I think with somebody like him coming into something that was already pretty established at the time, and it was kind of a big deal, the Dan the Man versus Morris, it didn't, I mean, like I said, I'm cool with it, but at the same time, I would have rather, me, myself, had a one-on-one rivalry with the guy just because A, he's a legend. He's done, pretty much everything there is to do. And, like I said, in a way, looking at it, I kind of feel like I don't want to say it's a disrespect against him, but it just didn't, it seemed like he should have had more attention on him in that match. And I'm not saying that he didn't, because, he did what he did, and then, like I said, the match was good and all that, but I just would have liked to have seen, during that time, if we could have squeezed that in there, I would have loved to have had a one-on-one, rival with him there at the last.
Yeah, even at least a match, just you two. because I know when he got thrown in the mix, then they even had where you the special guest referee between them two.
Yeah.
And, it was kind of one of them, okay, let's get at least one good pay-per-view match.
Mm-hmm.
But it never happened. But, I mean, it was good the way it went down, meltdown on 9/11. We paid TWF paid tribute to all the fallen victims, of the tragic 9/11. But you guys had a great triple threat match, and you came out victorious. Before you could even celebrate, boom, his brother, lights go out. Boom, lights come back on. There's your belt with the Money in the Bank, and then the hat sitting on top. Your face was priceless. You knew what was coming. As he would say, the devil was coming to collect.
He damn sure was.
Now, after all these years, we're getting into the final show of TWF. That he didn't have to say a word. You knew he was cashing in. TWF's last pay-per-view, one last time, was coming up. One, talk to me about him being your final opponent. Was you happy with that, or was you kind of like, well, I'd like to move something new? Or
to me, the final show was kind of about. It was about tying up a lot of loose ends. It was about kind of closing the book on a lot of stories that have evolved, from the beginning until that point. And honestly, to me, it was the best way to go out. Because, I don't know, if it had been somebody else, yeah, it would have been cool. Like I said, it could have been Jake, it could have been, Reyes, it could have been, any other guy, it could have been even Dan the Man for that matter, and it still probably would have been a good match. I could have had a good match with any of those guys, but to me, that was like the standard bearer of my career, you know what I'm saying, was my rivalry with the guy. And like I said, to me, that made me so happy knowing that my final match was going to be against that guy, because like I said, we did it all together, and it was exciting, and nothing probably will ever come close to that, and so it was cool.
I love the match, and the thing I liked about it was a video was like 3 years in the making, and we, you and Deadman would tease, okay, maybe you get into it for a minute, but then you'd go, because that's what I loved, is because the first match in 2011, like I said, the first show, you and Deadman's rival was so strong that y'all said, piss on the title. Y'all fought all the way to the back. And then it was like the next show, you guys went nowhere around each other. It's just little sneak stuff, which I felt, not only did you win and Deadman win, but the fans won.
Definitely.
And, I don't know, it was just like, it was almost to me like if, let's just say, Sean and The Rock, just like that little super kick on SmackDown, Sean delivered to The Rock. Fans was like, oh, this match is going to happen. It never did. Well, Rock said he had a surprise issue with WrestleMania. If that happened, that'd be the biggest thing. Won't happen, of course, because, Sean's retired and doing that crap. Anyway, I don't know. But anyway, me personally, I loved my last match with Justin Sane. And like you just said, you loved your last match with the Deadman. I think that entire pay-per-view was awesome. Everybody, we lost a lot of guys, injuries, stuff like that. But everybody that was on that card knew they had to step their game up that night. In 2011, the final book was closed on TWF. So, now, it's 2016. 5 years after the TWF has shut its doors. The question that I ask everybody and that I'm going to ask you, would you return for a reunion?
Well, I'm gonna reply to this with the normal opposite, or with the opposite answer that I would give you, and that's this. Yes.
Yes, you heard it right there, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it on Skull's show. It is, so far, it is happening. It's not going to be a full season. We've already discussed that. We've talked about doing maybe a good 4-5 shows tops. But just to finally do the final resting place for TWF. And the reason we want to do it is because there's a couple of stars that could not compete in 2011. They want final closure on their career. And I feel that if we can get everybody together, we should give it to them. Because they've earned it. So ladies and gentlemen, you just heard it, that if the reunion does happen this year, that this man will be here. Now if you could pick your opponent, who would it be? Oh, in the hot seat.
Man, this thing's burning too. You know, I don't think it would really matter. I mean, a part of me wants, you know what I'm saying, I could name a few names maybe, but really, when it boils down to it, is just, you know, getting in that ring again with those guys and, you know, making an exciting show. I mean, that's really what would matter to me. I mean, it doesn't matter if it was with, you know, the Dead Man or Jake or even John or somebody like that for that matter. I mean, it really, to me, it's just, I don't know if I have anything left to prove, but I do think that I do have something to give, and that's just kind of like, it's more about my paying homage, I guess, to the company. I think it's still a respect thing, you know. I wouldn't be concerned with anything but just going out there and reminding the fans of TWF why we did it for so long, and why we still want to do it all these years later.
You know, it's not about titles. Even though I am the last television champion, my title would not leave my waist if we did the reunion. Of course, I'd like to fight Justin Sane one last time in a rematch.
I say do it.
If he's got the balls, Justin Sane. Come on out here, boy. I'll show you what we got. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting a little excited here. But anyway, it ain't about titles. It's about the love and it's about the passion. And I do know for a fact that if it does happen this year, this will be the final time that we would ever do it again. I'll be 30, boys. 30 years old in April. This man right here is going to be 32. Already got the gray locks going. Better start dyeing that mug like the Undertaker. But, low blow Undertaker. But anyway, before we sign off, I just want to end it with a couple questions right quick off the script. Just like The Rock did at Raw a couple weeks ago. Rock's man, he sucks balls. 30 minutes of a segment that was a piece of trash. Sorry, I hate The Rock. God, he reminds me of Bones so much. He just can't come out there and say what he's got to say. He said he had a big surprise. Did you watch the freaking thing? What'd he say? He had a surprise for Mania. He didn't even build Mania up. Gosh. Anyway, I'd rather watch freaking Umaga have a match now. No, he can't. Anyway. But ladies and gentlemen, we're about to sign off. Like I said, this is Skull. John, do you have anything you'd like to say to the TWF universe?
Well, if the clouds align right in heaven, we will be seeing you soon.
Yes. With my television heavyweight championship held over my head. In victory. Anyway, so signing off, this is Scoliosis, and this is the man, Jonathan Morris, or Jon Morris, whatever you want to call him, Morris. So as always, piss off.